everyone! So it's been a little while since I've done a more informative video, so today I thought that I would do a video dedicated to banking, everyone's favourite topic. I don't find banking stuff fun, probably like a lot of you, but it is important and it's difficult to know what you're doing. I'm just becoming an adult and I've got to do all of this in another language, in another culture. And it can be overwhelming, and that's okay. It might be a bit boring, but it is really important, and it's one of the first things that people want to get sorted out when they move to a new country. If you don't know already, hello, my name is Emily. I have just moved very recently to Italy. I make videos all about my experiences there, what I get up to, travelling, and more informative things like this. As always, I'm not an expert. I'm going to talk to you about my experience, share some tips from what I went through, and hopefully help some of you along the way. Now, the first thing you want to do if you have just moved to Italy is to think, do I really need a bank account? If you're an Erasmus student going there for a few months, the answer might be no. There are other ways of getting around not having a bank account. There are other options like WeSwap card, Travelex passport. That's a whole other topic for another video, but really look into it before you decide to open a bank account. If, on the other hand, you're going to be working or you're going to be there for a longer period of time, you might well need a bank account. Since I'm working in Italy, I do need one. And so when I arrived there, the first thing I did was I just asked friends about which banks they were with and whether they'd had a good experience or a bad experience. A lot of my friends were pretty pleased with their banks. I was told a few to stay away from, so I just got a general idea of what to go for. In the end, I decided to go for a bank that was very close to my house. I had another friend who was with them, had a good experience with them, and her card and account were free. Depending on where you live, it might not be this way, but in Italy usually you do have to pay a yearly or monthly rate for your card or account. When I had chosen a bank I wanted to go with, I just walked into the bank one morning and I asked them how I could go about opening an account with them. And the guy that I spoke to was helpful, and he said that he could see me the next day, I'd need an appointment, and he would help me to open one up then. And he gave me a list of things to bring with me. Check this for yourself, but these are the things that I had to bring to open up my account. I needed a copy of my passport or other legal documents, which was valid in Italy. I had to bring my codice fiscale, which is the Italian tax code, so that's one thing you're probably going to need if you don't have it already. And I had to bring the sheet of paper which was issued to me when I went to go and get this tax code. I also had to bring a copy of my work contract. This is the part which could cause problems for some people because a lot of people want a bank account before they get a job. If you are a student, I know that they ask you for something else instead of a work contract. It's something like a little book that declares that you're at that university. Honestly, I'm not completely sure. But as always, double check this with your bank. When I was first trying to open a bank account, I was trying to do it with my friend's bank, which included opening it online. Because I don't have Italian documents, I wasn't able to do it. If you're in that sort of a situation, sure, you can try to do it online, but in the end it was a lot of stress, and I learned that it was just better to go into the branch and do it that way. I think that if you have an in any way unusual situation, it's always much better to talk to a human face. So once I actually went in for my appointment, I gave them all of that information. So remember, that's the copy of your passport, your codice fiscale, the sheet, and your job contract. I chose the type of account I wanted, and then I had to sign a lot of paperwork, and they showed me kind of all the terms and conditions. But I walked away that same day with my card, and they also gave me everything I needed for my internet banking. Basically the ability to use that account as soon as I wanted to. Just remember, like in any country when you're opening a bank account, ask questions. So things like, are you going to get overdraft charges? Is there interest on the overdraft charges? Just research. Some of it, unfortunately, you are just going to learn a lot along the way. Hopefully it won't be too difficult a lesson. The bank that I chose is called Intesa San Paolo, and it's a banking group, and they have lots of banks all across Italy, which is one of the reasons I chose them. My particular bank is called Cassa di Risparmio del Veneto. Quite often in Italy, you will have to pay to withdraw money from an ATM if it is not an ATM from your bank. Now, my particular bank, since it's a banking group all around Italy, there are probably going to be ATMs in most of the cities that I go to visit. More on that later. The other reason that I picked this bank is because They do not make you pay for the type of bank account that I've gone for until you're 26, and since I'm 23, that gives me another lovely 3 years of free banking. So when I went to the bank, I did have to wait a little while. I had to wait 30 minutes past when my original appointment was booked for, but that is Italy for you. And the guy that I spoke to offered me 2 types of bank account. The first one was a current account, and the second one was essentially a prepaid card. The prepaid card is called the Super Flash card. Depending on when you're watching this, they might still have it, they might not, but I'm just going to tell you what is included with this bank account that I went for in the end. The Super Flash card is essentially a prepaid card, but it comes with an IBAN, which means that I'm able to do bank transfers whether they are within the country or abroad, and equally other people can send money into my bank account if need be. There are no monthly or yearly charges for me to have this bank account or for me to have this card. No charges for me to open the account, no charges for me to close the account if I decide to do that in the future. There is a maximum of 10,000 euros that I can hold at one time in the card, but don't worry, I'm in no danger of going over that amount. So really I can just use it like a normal debit card. I can use it in shops, I can use it to take out money at the bank's ATMs. If I want to take it out from another bank's ATM, then I think that there is a €2 charge, which to me seems kind of high because I'm used to in the UK where you don't have to pay money to take out cash from ATMs, but cultural differences. The good news is that it will be that same €2 charge if I want to take money out in other countries as long as they are within the SEPA zone. It means single euro payment area, and it includes a lot of countries within the Eurozone, so if I go somewhere like France or Spain on holiday, then that's going to be the same charge to get some money out, and I think that's just really handy. So that's essentially how my account works. I'm using it just as I would a normal debit card. The school that I work at part-time is now paying me into that bank account, and it's really nice to have the security of an Italian bank account if I need it to sign up to anything or I need to pay for something, you know, just little things like rent. Another question which I can see you all asking is, do they speak English in Italian banks? And the answer is it depends. I live in Padova, which is quite a rich city. It's quite a touristy city, but honestly not a lot of people speak English. From my experience in Italy, some people are really good at speaking English, but in places like banks you just really can't rely on it. The guy that I spoke to did speak some English, but it was definitely limited. We did everything in Italian. I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear. Equally, I know there are a lot of Erasmus students that come to Padova because it's a university city, and some of them do open bank accounts, and I know that they manage, so please don't let the idea of not being able to speak the same language as them straight away put you off going to another country. Like, I think that would be such a shame. You go there to learn. Some final top tips. Make sure you know what you're doing with your internet banking, because booking an appointment and going in just isn't the most convenient thing. Number 2, remember your PIN. PINs in Italy are 5 digits long. This is weird for me. I'm used to them being 4 digits, and for some reason I just can't remember my Italian PIN. That one extra digit just throws me off. I think the biggest piece of advice I can give you, whether you speak Italian, whether you don't, whatever situation you're in, is just do your research, but the best way to do that is to speak to people in the place. Speak to people who live there, speak to people in the same situation as you, other expats, other students, other whatever you're doing. Just try to get as much information about the place that you're in as you can, because the information I'm giving you, I'm not an expert and it is very relative to my situation. I hope a lot of it, however, can be translated into whatever you're doing, and I really hope that it's been helpful for you. If you are going to Italy on Erasmus, or even if you're not, I've done a whole video about what to think about when you go on Erasmus and how to sort out the main things when you're first moving over there, and I will link that video in the description. I'll put a card up. But anyway, I have quite a few videos about moving abroad and things, so please have a scroll through. If this video was helpful, I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up, or even subscribed if you want to see more informative videos about moving abroad and more fun travel vlogs. Any video requests can be left down in the description as well. I've got lots of exciting ideas coming up, and I think they're going to be really helpful. So yeah, have a wonderful day. Mwah. Bye.